All right, in this video, I'm going to teach you a quick way to memorize the salvage and overhaul, preserve and protect evidence of fire cause and origin. This is the only PO that you just have to recite off instead of doing anything. So if you get this on state day, it's an easy 25 points if you have it memorized. It can seem like a lot at first, but with this way I'm going to teach you, you'll have it memorized in about 5 to 10 minutes. So the first thing you want to do is focus on these 6 bold bullet points. Boom, 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 boom. And the easy way to do that is think about, like, if you get to a fire, obviously the first thing you're going to do is look for possible evidence and what caused the fire. That's the first thing you're going to do when you get to a fire. Then, since you found possible evidence, you want to preserve and protect the evidence. Boom. Now, the third thing you have to do is you have to establish a perimeter, because you haven't done that yet. Secure the scene and restrict access. Then, prevent spoliation and contamination. That one's an easy one because we know there's no bullet points under that one. And then after you do that, you have to list all findings and actions. That's the tough one you'll have to memorize. And then hand everything over to the investigator before you leave. So an easy way to remember all the little details is you got to look at this. There is 4 bullet points, 3 bullet points, 2 bullet points, then just that one with no bullet points, and then you have 5 here. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you have that, then when you're reciting it off, you can easily check it off. So for the 4, you have accidental. I'm not going to write them down. I'll just point them here. Accidental, incendiary, natural, and unconfirmed. Memorize that however you want. It's just like, was this accidental fire, incendiary fire? Was it natural, like caused by lightning, or is it still unconfirmed? Boom. So that's your four bullet points here. Then you have your 3 bullet points when you preserve and protect evidence. Okay, and to memorize this, I just remember the first one is DDTT, damage, touch, disturb, tramp. So you want to avoid the DDTT. Then excessive water. You want to avoid using excessive water when putting out the fire because you don't want to get the evidence wet. Okay. And then the last one, to preserve and protect, you want to just leave the evidence in place. Don't move it unless you have to. So those are your 3 bullet points for preserve and protect. So you already got the evidence, fire cause, preserve and protect, your 3 DDTT, excessive wet water, don't get it wet, and don't move the evidence, leave it in place, utilize it in the condition found unless you have to move it. Then for the next one, you have your 2 bullet points. Easy way to remember this. When you establish a perimeter, what's going to happen when you're putting up the tape around the perimeter? People are going to be asking you questions, right? So you want to avoid contact with them, but if they do ask you a question, you just respond with the fire is under investigation. Okay? So you got to put yourself at the scene. When you're doing that, say, I'm going to execute perimeter, secure, and restrict access. When I'm doing that, people are going to be asking me questions. The only thing I'm going to say is the fire is under investigation. And then you're not going to stand there and guard the entrance. So you're going to utilize security until an investigator arrives on scene. So your 2 bullet points for that is questions, fire's under investigation, you're not going to stand guard, so utilize security. All right, you're already almost done. So now you know, okay, I got my 4, I got my 3, I got my 2. Oh, this is the easy one. I just need to prevent spoliation, contamination. And now you're on list all findings and actions. So after you've all done this, get out your pen and paper, right? And you're gonna document. These first 2, easy. You don't have to say them. You don't have to say record location, record locate. You just have to say, I'm gonna record the location, appearance, and time, when found, and if moved. So you got your 2 out of 5. Boom. So after you list the location, appearance, and time, when found, and if moved, now you're going to write down anything happening around the scene and around the evidence. After that, you're going to record any information and inability to preserve and protect evidence. Then the most important thing out of these 5 is you're going to initiate chain of custody, record, and times. Okay? So you got your 4, you got your 3, you got your 2. You said you prevent contamination, spoliation. Now you just got to remember, this is the one with the pen and paper, findings and actions, record location, appearance, and time when you found the evidence, if you moved the evidence, anything happening around the scene or around with the evidence, any inability to preserve or protect the evidence, and initiate chain of custody and record and times. Then you're done. Your last one. You did all this. What do you got to do now? Just before you leave, hand everything to the investigator. And that's it. So when you break it down like that, it's pretty easy, right? You get to a scene, recognize possible evidence and what caused the fire. 4 bullet points. Accidental, incendiary, natural, unconfirmed. Then you've recognized the evidence and the potential fire cause. You got your 3 bullet points. You preserve and protect it. DDTT, don't damage, disturb, touch, or tramp. Don't use excessive water. You don't want to get the evidence wet. And don't move the evidence. Utilize it in place unless you have to move it. Then you do the scene perimeter, secure it, restrict access. While you're doing that, people are going to ask you questions. Fire's under investigation. Then you're going to utilize security because you're not going to stand guard the whole time. That's your 2 bullet points, done. Then you got your 1, prevent spoliation, contamination, easy. Then your tough one, you're just going to write down everything. Your first 2, location, appearance, and time, when found, and if moved. And then you're going to write down anything happening around the scene or around the evidence. Then you're going to write down any inability to protect the evidence. And then you're going to initiate chain of custody and record and times. Then you're going to just hand everything over to the investigator before you leave. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, your 6 bullet points. And that's an easy way to remember. Preserve and protect evidence of fire cause and origin. Once you have it down, you'll hope you get this on state day because it's an easy 25 points. Hope this helped.